The American stock market just lost over $1 trillion in a day. Nvidia crashed by 17%, Microsoft 2.5%, Google 4%, all because of AI. But it's not the AI that you think. A Chinese company just pulled off something Silicon Valley said was impossible, and now investors are panicking. The reason? DeepSeek R1, which is built for a tiny fraction of the cost of OpenAI's models. Investors have been pouring billions into US AI companies, betting they'd stay far ahead. But DeepSeek has just changed the game big time. So DeepSeek, if you don't know it yet, is a Chinese AI company that came out of nowhere. I first spoke about this 3 weeks ago, and it is now the #1 most downloaded AI app in the US. Their new model, DeepSeek R1, performs on par with OpenAI's latest models. The shocking part is that it is reportedly built with just 6 million, while OpenAI has raised over 14 billion. So I'll explain how they did this, but first follow and bookmark to save for later. Anyway, so DeepSeek has not just released chatbots. It's also released Janus Pro 7B, an AI image generator that reportedly beats DALL-E in Stable Diffusion. But anyway, how did DeepSeek pull this off without billions in GPUs? The secret is Group Relative Policy Optimization, or GRPO. It is a new reinforcement learning technique that lets AI models improve without needing massive compute power. So what does this mean in simple English? I'm gonna try to explain. So DeepSeek didn't just build another AI model, they changed the way AI is trained. And that's why it's such a big deal. Most AI models like OpenAI's are trained with billions of dollars in computing power. They rely on massive amounts of data and expensive GPUs. But DeepSeek did it differently. Instead of throwing infinite compute at the problem, they used a 4-stage process to make AI smarter with fewer resources. So what are these 4 stages? 1, fine-tuning. So this is teaching it to think, and they started by fine-tuning their base model DeepSeek V3. Think of this as giving the AI a head start by feeding it high-quality examples of problem solving so it learns how to think step by step. This made the AI better at math, coding, and logical reasoning. But it wasn't enough because traditional training limits how much AI can eventually improve. So the second layer is self-learning with reinforcement rewards. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Instead of just spoon-feeding the AI or the model billions of examples, DeepSeek let it teach itself using reinforcement learning. This works like a reward system, similar to how video games keep players engaged. Gets the answers right? Reward. Explains its reasoning clearly? Reward. Uses consistent language? Reward. This approach is called Group Relative Policy Optimization. This is an advanced version of reinforcement learning that makes AI smarter without needing as much computing power. So why does this matter? Because it means AI can improve without constantly needing human-labeled data, which is usually expensive and time-consuming to do. So the next layer to this is the amount of reasoning examples they gave the model. So at this point, DeepSeek's AI was already good, but they wanted to make it great. And they wanted to take things further. So they generated 600,000 reasoning-based examples covering anything from writing, problem-solving, and role-playing tasks. And they didn't just take the AI's first response. Instead, they used a process called rejection sampling, where an AI judge, which is another model, reviewed and filtered out weak responses, keeping only the best and most logical answers. This made DeepSeek R1 more articulate and precise, especially for complex reasoning. And the final layer to this is what they did to optimize it even further. Okay, so now we're at the final stage of how they optimize DeepSeek. So this is about how they fine-tuned it to be more helpful, safe, and reliable. They used another round of reinforcement learning, which then they focused on the AI being helpful, being safe, avoiding harmful or misleading responses, and also for better reasoning, pushing it to think through problems carefully. This final stage ensured that DeepSeek R1 could match or even surpass the best AI models out there without needing a $100 billion infrastructure behind it. And the end result? DeepSeek R1 is now on par with the latest O1 models when it comes to complex problem solving, but it was built at a fraction of the cost. That's why investors are panicking. If AI can be trained this efficiently, the entire industry is about to change. AI is no longer just for billion-dollar companies. This means startups, researchers, and even individuals can now build powerful AI models without insane budgets. And that's why this movement matters. This isn't just about one AI model. It's about who controls the future of AI. The US assumed that restricting AI chips to China would slow them down, but DeepSeek just proved they don't need those chips. And here's the bigger shift. AI just got way cheaper to develop. If DeepSeek's method scales, we could see 10x lower costs for building AI. That means startups can compete with OpenAI and Google. More companies will build AI without needing billions in funding. AI development will move faster than ever. The US just announced a $500 billion AI infrastructure project to keep up. But can Silicon Valley still hold its lead? Most people will watch from the sidelines. Others will build. DeepSeek R1 is open source. That means anyone can use it. If you're a developer, researcher, or entrepreneur like me, this is your chance to experiment with state-of-the-art AI for cheap. The AI race just changed. Are you ready? Follow me for more AI insights like these. Ciao.